Hi everyone. Today I will be reviewing Kennywood's 2016 Holiday Lights. I had the privilege of attending this event on Friday, and I must say it was actually a pretty good experience. So my wife and I decided to take our daughter kind of a last minute trip. We ended up purchasing just one ticket. They were doing a special offer. It was buy one, get one free. So overall, I think it was a little over $20. So we pretty much paid about $10 for the both of us, as our daughter is free. All children under the age of 2 were free, so definitely go and take advantage of that. So after walking through the tunnel into Kennywood, we were greeted by a few Christmas characters. There was Mrs. Claus, I believe a couple reindeer, and some elves. Hanging from the first drop of the skyrocket was a lit up sign that said Holiday Lights 2016. For the rest of that area, it was pretty dark except for all the lights that were leading the way to the back of the park. So after entering the park, we walked through the path, slowly making our way over to the 4D Theater, where they were showing a special viewing of the Polar Express. It was about a 10-minute video. It was pretty much highlighting the main sections of the film, or you'd say like the more 3D centric scenes of the film. Overall, I say it was okay. I wouldn't say that the 3D was the best that I've seen, but it was still a fun experience. I know my daughter really enjoyed it, which was all that mattered to me. So after the 4D theater, we worked our way on over to the Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark was slightly rethemed for the holiday season. Basically, they just threw in a bunch of Christmas lights, and also there was a couple random Santa's hats on a couple of the animals. But other than that, it was pretty much the same experience. They changed the Noah's Ark this year, so it was the same experience as it was this year, just with the added Christmas lights. After riding the Noah's Ark, we stepped outside, and they had like a bonfire going on. It was pretty much right outside the exit of Noah's Ark. So I stood there for a couple minutes, got my hands warm, and also enjoyed viewing the end of it. Looked like a magic show going on in a little theater right there. As you can see here in the video, I just caught the finale and the guy was breathing fire. I thought it was pretty cool. Though, as you can see, there's not too many people watching, as there wasn't really too many people here that day. The park was a little on the empty side. It was a rather cold day. I believe it was in the low 20s that night. So we couldn't go to Kennywood without getting some potato patch fries, which is my wife's favorite food there at the park. So we got some and headed over to the Johnny Rockets, sat inside and got a couple burgers, which was very nice. You could majority of the people were actually inside the Johnny Rockets for dinner, as it was one of the main restaurants that was indoors and that was open. So after enjoying a meal, we headed on over into the Parkside Cafe, where they had a bunch of model trains set up. It was actually a nice little exhibit. At the end of the exhibit, they had a little amusement park set up that the trains went by, and you could see here they have some of the attractions here at Kennywood were being featured. The roller coaster says the Thunderbolt, though it doesn't look like it obviously quite follows the traditional layout of the Thunderbolt, but it was pretty neat to see a little miniature roller coaster that was working and running. So after the Parkside Cafe, we headed on over to the Gingerbread Express, which traditionally is just the old Kennywood train. But for the holiday season, they decorated up with gingerbread characters. So pretty much throughout the whole entire ride, there's different scenes that are set up with the gingerbread characters, like Santa's workshop, Santa's town, the North Pole. I believe that there was a nativity scene set up somewhere in there as well. It was a fun little ride. It was a tad windy, so it got a little chilly, but it was enjoyable being able to sit down and just enjoy the lights. Again, another experience that my daughter really enjoyed. As I'm not sure if I already said this, but the Holiday Lights is definitely geared towards the kids. So if you have younger kids, this is a very fun event to take them to. So after riding the Gingerbread Express, we headed on into the Kittyland area and took a spin on the Little Phantom. It was the only roller coaster that was running in the park, and I couldn't leave without riding at least one roller coaster. And hey, it worked out for the best of me as it added another coaster to my coaster count, which brought me up to 152 different roller coasters. My daughter also enjoyed the ride as well. It was a fun little ride. I must say it's the first time I've ever ridden a roller coaster when it's 22 degrees out. Now, granted, it's just a kiddie coaster and you probably go about 10 miles an hour, but a roller coaster nonetheless, and it was fun. Majority of the rides in the Kittyland were open, but we only rode the Little Phantom, and then we headed on over to the petting zoo that they had set up in the park. They had some goats, some sheep, and some little pigs. I thought it was pretty fun. My daughter got a little scared in there as soon as she walked in, a bunch of them seemed to come right on over and huddled around her, and I think one of the goats almost tried to knock over, so she didn't really like it. But it was fun and cute, and then once we picked her up and she got to pet some of the animals, she really started to enjoy it. So by this time, it was around 7 o'clock. We headed on over and watched the light show that took place in that lagoon pond area where the sky coaster is. I wouldn't say it was anything too special. I mean, it was just pretty much the lights synchronized to music. They just flashed on and off. There was nothing particular, I would say, that stood out. But it was a nice and little enjoyable show to watch, to kill a few minutes. So by this time, it was starting to get pretty cold, but we at least wanted to take a spin on the carousel, which is one of my daughter's favorite rides there at the park. So we hopped on the carousel and enjoyed, and then headed on out of the park. Now, there was a couple other attractions that were opened in the park, but we just didn't get around to doing them. As it was, I said, it was a little cold. We pretty much felt that we got our time and money worth out of the whole experience. We really did enjoy it. The pirate ship was open. The Ghostwood Estate was also open. And obviously, as I said, the majority of the rides in the Kittyland section was open as well. Oh, yes, and also the kangaroo ride was open as well, but we just kind of ended up skipping on that one. So in the future, if you, I guess it's only open for one more weekend, I believe, this year. But if you happen to live in the Pittsburgh area and really do enjoy Christmas lights, and hey, and you love Kennywood, I would definitely say it's worth going, especially if you have kids. Your kids will really enjoy it. It's a fun little experience. There's nothing quite like being in an amusement park when it's in the middle of winter. It kind of has this fun little magical feel to it. Especially, I mean, it's unfortunate, obviously, we can't ride the roller coasters, but it is kind of neat seeing, obviously all the rides that are closed and shut down, but being able to ride some of them in the cold weather. So this is my review for Kennywood's 2016 Holiday Lights. And yes, my final verdict is it is definitely worth your time. Head on out. As I do believe it is only open, I think the last weekend is this coming weekend. So if you have the time, head on over. You will not regret it. It'll be a fun time and make a great memory with your kids. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please make sure you subscribe and also go check out my other videos. Thanks.